So this is off script here. Now I'm joined with the genius behind the scene, Mams Taylor. How are you doing today?
I am on no sleep and I'm just trying to plug a few holes and just make things go as smoothly as possible for people. One day, I think we should do a series or almost a memoirs of fuck-ups and near misses. Things that people don't know that could have happened, almost happened, or could have been a complete disaster. There's a lot of stuff in this business, so you just got to stay on top of everything and be married to it, which I am.
Absolutely. Now talking about big things that you've planned, obviously this weekend, unfortunately we can't be there, but I want to talk to you. Misfit, it is around the corner. What are you most excited for this insane event that you've put together?
It's got to be the Survivor tag. It's got to be, I'm excited and nervous about it because it could be a success 9 times out of 10, but that one time could be the time things go wrong. So, you know, I hope it's smooth. I hope the refereeing will be absolutely key in this, allowing for smooth transitions, for it to flow, action to be consistent, continuity to be there for people to enjoy it. So that's something I'm really excited about. I think could be a big banger, could be a way of the future of having basically, sometimes look, I'm looking at my roster and the people that want to fight that text me on a daily basis, Mams,
when's my date, when's this, when's that, when's this fight?
And it's difficult because you can't accommodate everyone as much as you want to. I'm just planning it ahead. We've got more fighters than we know what, not more than we know what to do with them, but it's just a matter of having the amount of events. And also, obviously, we don't want to overdo it where we cause a saturation and make people think,
oh, I could skip this.
You know, we want to continue with the urgency of it. The problem is, like I've said before, non-pay-per-views are very different to pay-per-views. UFC Fight Night main event is very different from a UFC pay-per-view main event. I think we're judged a bit harshly in terms of, and our budgets are less and whatnot. There's a difference between our non-pay-per-views and our pay-per-views. Having said that, I think for a non-pay-per-view event, this is a complete banger. Like, you know, the tag team match is going to be really interesting. Can't wait for everyone to see the mystery tag partner. I always say there's something for everyone all around. There's the pros, there's the guys who are just learning, there's guys who've been trying to get better and better and they've committed their time. They've got a timetable, a schedule that looks like a pro boxer's. You've got to respect that. Then you've got the gimmicks, which are fun, but those gimmicks are hard. You're still in there getting punched in the face. I don't want it to dampen the efforts that these guys are putting in trying to prepare for something like that. Promotion wise, I think we could have more from the fighters. I've been vocal about this, and unfortunately, because of the quick turnaround, we didn't implement what I will be implementing from 008, which is heavy fines on people who do not promote and live up to their promotional expectations, which will be contracted. You're going to lose 50% of your purse. I don't wish that on anyone, but we will inevitably have someone who doesn't fulfill their obligations, and I will execute that, and they will be made an example of. And it's a necessary evil, unfortunately, because the fans are missing out on this. You know, the fans are missing out on getting hyped and excited about something that's really spectacular and fun. And the pace is picking up. I've had conversations with all the guys, so we're seeing more. They've had a couple of months to build this up, and I feel that some of the participants here haven't been pushing as hard, which is unfair to the ones that do.
Well, Umber being one of them. The other day I saw, you know.
Umber, I'm very impressed with. I think he's got a bright future in this business. I really do. You know, his boxing skills, he's quite new at this, obviously. He's got a lot to learn, but, you know, he's making the effort and he's making up for his lack of boxing skills with the promotion. But then again, he's fighting someone who's in the same boat. They're both pretty elementary boxers, but that is the fun of it. That fight, to me, Umber versus Korn is more entertaining than Gibb versus Jarvis was.
I kind of agree with you with that. I think the promotion they've been putting out, so exciting, as well as how competitive it was.
Let's put a promotion aside. Yes, we know Umber he's doing amazing, and I really respect it. The action in that ring, the last time they fought, there were moments of pure comedy, there was moments of potential, there was moments of excitement. That's what our brand is. It's a little something for everyone. But then you've got, and I'm not shitting on Gibb versus Jarvis because they were both boxing at a high level for influence, for influencers. But it got to a point where actually after the second, I kind of lost interest. I was looking at my phone and this is a very important fight. It just wasn't as interesting. King Kenny stole the show. That was entertainment. I think the only criticism I have of that event was things didn't move as quickly as I'd like them to. So there was too much of a pause. There were a couple of random fights which didn't really gauge that much interest in people. I think they served a purpose because they brought the Irish crowd out, the locals, I would keep them off the main card personally if it was me. A couple of them, not all of them, and then there were no knockouts. So sometimes people think it's a mismatch, but sometimes it's good to have someone who potentially can knock people out. Styles make fights. If you get two guys banging away at each other and they're both of a similar level, they've both had 3 fights each, 2 fights each, whatever, those fights are very exciting. We want to see knockouts, let's be honest. We want it to be safe. We don't want anyone to get hurt. But if you want to watch technical boxing matches where it's just about the boxing skill involved, then that's called boxing. That's traditional boxing. Go watch it. It's great. That's not what we're about. We're about action-packed fights. And I think there's very few fights Misfits have had that haven't been action-packed. But we can't control it. But this is the reason we try to make things 3 rounds or 4 rounds, because there's much more urgency. So all these people saying, hey, we want this to be 5 or 6 rounds, I promise you, the vast majority of them would start getting bored, thinking, oh, this is boring. This isn't fun. When you've got action-packed fights where there's urgency to win the round, there's urgency to try and knock the guy out, then you're going to see a spectacle. That's what's great about the UFC. Even Chael Sonnen said he wants shorter rounds and shorter fights because that allows for the fighter to be like,
fuck, I need to win this. I need to make a statement now.
Couldn't agree more anymore. Well, I actually wanted to circle a little bit back onto, you said about the mystery opponent. Now that's something me personally I'm really excited for. I think it's such a cool concept that you come up with. Now, is there, for the fans sitting at home, obviously it's fight week, it's building up, is there any hints you can give to who it could potentially be?
No.
Nothing. No, I don't blame you. Last time, I think everyone was taken back when Pineda came in. That was unreal.
Give me your top 2 guesses.
See, I've heard rumours of Adam Salah. And I've heard rumours of, who else was it that? I think, me personally, I'm leaning towards Adam Salah. I think that might be the one. I think there's a bit of beef in there and everything. It'd be exciting. Am I completely wrong? Probably.
No, I mean, I'm not going to say either way. You're a smart guy, and that's a good guess for sure.
Thank you. Now, I also wanted to talk a little bit back on that Survivor tag team ideas. Now, you do come up with the most amazing ideas. I want to come to you and ask, where do these ideas come from? Is it inspiration of the WWE, or how does it all come about?
It is inspiration off the WWE and wrestling in general, pro wrestling. It's inspiration of I'm a creative ultimately. I've always been a creative. I managed to make that work with business. I always think you should be passionate about the things you do. If this was golf, I'd probably not be passionate about it. No offense to golf, I just never got into it. I'm not passionate about it. I've always been passionate about fighting, combat sports of any kind. To me, this is a universe that has untold amount of potential. It's a live action comic for people to see with real boxing. WWE I was such a fan of because it was such a fantasy to have, oh my God, Hulk Hogan against the Ultimate Warrior, Bret Hart against Shawn Michaels, Iron Man match, and all the storylines around it made it what it was. Yes, there's things we're inspired by that, and when I went into WrestleMania and I looked at the production, I texted Kala, and I was next to JJ, I said, bro, this is going to be Misfits level we're going to play at, and we have to make it happen. Because I think providing entertainment and providing a platform which inspires people to get in shape mentally and physically, also platforming a lot of creators to showcase themselves, get the opportunity. Not everyone takes advantage of that opportunity in the correct way, but giving people a chance to do that. JJ's all about that. I'm all about that. We talk about legacy a lot, and I think this can be a business that just keeps growing exponentially, but there are obstacles in the way, and there's a lot of hard work done in order to get it to a place where we announce a date and put tickets on sale and it gets sold out. We're not there yet. In England we are. I want to be in that place without even announcing a single fight, and UFC are in that place, but they've been at it for a long time. They almost went bankrupt. We know the story, and they came back strong. For us, we're more on a consistent, it started like this and it's been like a consistent trajectory, and there's going to be some massive spikes coming up, because if I have it my way, Baba Boo. If I have it my way, the next card that JJ will be on will be historical and will be the prime card and will be something that no other card in history will be able to compete with in terms of the matches, in terms of the entertainment, all of it. That's going to be a serious success. I've got no doubt. And we want to keep building in different territories, cultivating new faces and new talent as well. But we're in the infancy of the business. We've not been around for a year yet. We're coming up to a year, and I'm very proud of what we've accomplished. We've put on, as of next Saturday, would be 8 shows, in a short space of time in a year. So I just want to keep going, keep entertaining, and keep evolving and inspiring people to be a part of the sport in one way or another.
Absolutely. Now, I wanted to touch base on that KSI card. Everyone's talking about it, and we're hearing it might be Tommy Fury as long as negotiations go forward. Now, talk to me about that fight with Tommy Fury. Do you think this is the final step for KSI? Do you think this is the final gem in his gauntlet? And is it maybe a step too far?
I think him and I thrive off being counted out, being the underdogs. He's doing the fighting in the ring, I'm not. And he thrives off that energy. Like Logan Paul, no one thought KSI could beat Logan. No one thought KSI could beat Joe Weller. Like, he steps up and does what, he does what people think he can't do. I can tell you this, when I signed JJ, his music manager, and he was my musical artist, everybody said, okay, watch this. And Jay said, okay, fuck you, watch. And that we thrive off that. So we both love a challenge. We both put in the hours. We're not afraid of hard work, and we have a good time doing it. And as long as that's the case, I think we're going to keep winning. I know my strengths and I know my weaknesses. I can say I'm one of the most determined people to get something done. I'm a great manifester. If I want something, I make it materialize. And I don't stop until it happens. There's one person who beats me in that arena, and that's JJ all day. His will to win is second to none. And I think that comes with a stubborn determination that sees him through impossible situations. So look, people are going to count him out. You think Tommy will win the fight against JJ?
I don't think so. I think me personally, I think KSI will actually win. It's just when I go talking around and I interview people, I think they're very much, they don't believe KSI can win that fight. I'll be surprised if he doesn't, me personally.
Oh wow, I love that. Well, that's good. You're a part of a small gang of us.
No, I genuinely, and we have a pro boxer as part of our team, and the pro boxer actually said KSI will win that fight. He's very confident he'll win it because of what we've seen. So
well, he's definitely overall the underdog.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't think it's a step too far. I think if anything, people have, because of circumstances, not going to point fingers, this, that, and the other. I can tell you one thing. JJ, from the day dot when he wanted to return, he was ready to fight Jake. He was ready to fight whoever. He's got a team. He's got trainers. He's got me. We want things to make sense for him, but we also acknowledge that fans want to see him fight opponents that are a challenge. I, honest to God, didn't know that Fournier would be as easy as he was for JJ.
Neither did I. It was a demolition.
And, obviously, it's a no contest. And all due respect to Joe as well. But look, imagine the hours. That guy's got thousands of hours in comparison to JJ in a ring. He's experienced. He's been on big stage. Of course, we're not trying to have JJ fight Errol Spence. Okay, we're not trying to have him Bivol and Canelo, and we don't have those aspirations because we're not stupid. Like, JJ is going to be he wants to be the top guy in this space. That's it. And if it wasn't for Jake Paul going and fighting, and I'm not taking it away from him, he did this. He led this pathway where he went outside of the influencer crossover space. Well, he stayed in the crossover space, but he went outside of the influencer space and said, okay, I want to fight MMA guys. Really smart, but it's also set the bar at a level that if KSI ends up fighting King Kenny right now, or boxer on our roster, that Salt Pappy or whoever, sure, some people will like that. As a business, we can't accommodate some people and neglect the majority who are silent. They're not on Twitter complaining, well, they are, but not all. At the end of the day, he needs this fight. He needs a big fight, not necessarily Tommy. He needs a big fight, whether it's him, whether it's Masvidal, whether it's Anthony Pettis, whether it's Conor McGregor, whether it's Mayweather, Tommy Fury. These are fights he needs, he craves, he wants. And the bar has been set higher, so it's much more dangerous than it used to be. He's not fighting Joe Wellers anymore, and people make fun and say, okay, but he fought Swarms and Pineda. Pineda's still a pro.
Yeah, people forget.
Pineda beat the shit out of B-Dave.
Yeah, and B-Dave's a good fighter as well, so.
Improved a lot, and he's great. It shows levels. I think JJ beats Anthony Taylor. Anthony Taylor beats Soulpat. I don't think JJ's going to have a problem with any any of the influencers, including Kenny. Not yet. I think 2 years from now, Kenny carries on the pathway he's on. He's a big problem for a lot, and that's a really tough fight in that time. Right now, he's at the point where I think he would still not be able to take the heat that comes from KSI. You know, Gib, these guys, they're not really. I think JJ's risen above that, and I think obviously we all wanted Jake Paul KSI. We all wanted that fight. I can tell you, I tweeted this fight is happening in 2023. I hate that I couldn't keep my word, but I promise you it was not for a lack of trying. I tried my absolute best to make that fight, and we actually had everything agreed, verbally, all agreed, no problem, we'll do this, this is the way, this is the thing, how about this, does this work? Oh, you want MVP fighters, let's do a co-promotion. Okay, you guys have the co-main, we'll have the rest of the card. No, okay, we'll do it. We were negotiating all the little points. The material terms were verbally agreed. Then I get a call saying,
Hey, we're not doing the fight. Jake doesn't want to do it.
we want Jake to do this fight. He doesn't want to do this fight. First to fight someone else. So I thought, okay, he's going to rematch Tommy Fury, which can't hate on him for that, but he didn't. He chose it. So we all know the rest. Good luck to everyone at the end of the day and whatever they're doing. But it's not because of us that fight didn't happen.
Yeah.
You know?
No. Well, you can see you've made all the effort to get there. KSI's put all the work in. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like it will happen anytime soon. Maybe happening in the future. But something I did want to talk about, a new addition to the Misfit scene, is that small council. Now, talk to the people that don't really know what's going on with the small council. What is it and what's it going to bring to Misfits?
So the small council creates a democracy, creates a distance between, oh, Mams and KSI are favoring fighters, or they only do these matches and those matches. People are going to soon find out that, I hope two things. Number one, they will find out that it's not up to Mams to get Mr. A and Mr. B to fight. Mr. A and Mr. B, unfortunately, do have a say. Hey, I don't want to fight this guy. We call it ducking or whatever you want to call it, but for whatever reason, sometimes people don't want to fight each other, so we can't make some of the best fights happen. I feel also that having the presence of the small council will make those fights more likely to happen, because the votes are going to be there. The small council will have a big voice, and also they're there to regulate the rankings. So everyone will submit their rankings. They're mandatory. You know, we decide mandatories for the belts. We're going to do a round table once a week where we stream and we're all together talking about certain topics, fighters, who deserves what matches we should have, and ideas that I have, present them to them and see their opinions, get their feedback. They'll bring me ideas, and I think it creates the optics and the reality of a more fair and democratic system. It, allows people to have a vote and a say, and each person will represent a different sector of people who will agree and disagree with them. So we'll have votes, basically it takes a bit of weight off my shoulders as well.
Yeah, but you need it. You're taking all the brunt.
I'm a pack mule. I can carry all the weight in the world, but at the end of the day, why not? You've got True Geordie, you've got Leon, and you've got Roundhouse, and then we're going to have a fourth person as well announced soon. These guys are generally quite outspoken and generally quite, I'd say, unbiased. Of course, there was a slight concern that Leon represents, Leon trains some of the fighters, Gib and Deji. So is there going to be biases? We all have relationships with people and everything else in terms of our, I've got a closer relationship with some fighters than others. Am I going to be biased? No, I really want to have legs. So I want to have credibility with this. And I want these guys to give us their opinions. And we're all taking a collective oath not to bring our own personal preferences and biases into this, which I think is humanly impossible to regulate. But I do believe that everyone on that council has integrity to do their best to stick to that oath.
Okay, perfect. So what I will ask, obviously after this semi-finals that just passed, we had a really impressive performance from King Kenny, and obviously a good performance from Gib. Now that final, I'm interested in your opinion. Who do you think is going to win that? And I know KSI said about potentially fighting them. What do you make of that whole situation?
I think KSI has bigger fish to fry right now. I don't think that, and Daly won't agree with me on this, and I get along with Daly, but I don't think King Kenny or Gib could handle KSI in the ring. I don't think they're at that level yet, and his fighting style is such that you have to be, if you're going to beat KSI as a boxer, you're going to have to elevate your game to be a really, really high level technical boxer to beat him. And like I said, we're talking the influencer scene, right? There's no one who's there yet. I think King Kenny is right at the top of that mountain after his last performance. I think Sol Pappy's got some great potential. I think Anthony Taylor's a very tough guy. I think Gib is a fucking machine. Guy's a machine too. I think he hits a lot harder than Gib. Gib might get a few more punches on JJ. I don't think he's going to wear JJ down. I don't think King Kenny is at that level either, but I think after KSI does these mega matches, I think he will probably feel like he owes a mat to the top of the mountain of Misfits. Whoever that, if it's Gib, who's been with us for, who joins us and ends up fighting with us a few times and gets some undeniable wins, and King Kenny, Soul Pappy, whoever, Slim, whoever it is, that the fans say, okay, this guy is the Misfits king right now. KSI's just fought and beat, God willing, Tommy Fury. He's fought Conor McGregor. Let's say in a fantasy world, everything goes the way we want it to go, and he fights these guys. Then before KSI's retirement, personally, the way I'd like to see it is him fighting against the top talent in Misfits, homegrown talent that we've got in Misfits. And then if he wins that fight, he still passes the torch and says, hopefully, in my vision, there's a battle that's amazing. And then he can say, Soul Pappy, Slim, whoever it is, put up an amazing fight. I'm retiring. Thank you very much. Blah, blah, blah. Or, of course, I never want JJ to lose, but if he did lose, it was to a king. Now the torch is really passed to someone who can take over and carry on once JJ retires and he just settles into being the CEO of the company. So I've got things mapped out in my head. We know there's a saying, if you tell God your plans, it's the easiest way to make him laugh, because who knows what God's plan is? Who knows what's in store for everyone? Anything can change, things can switch up on you in an instant. So we don't know, but I have a tentative roadmap in my head of how things should go. And to answer your question in the most long-winded way possible, I think King Kenny right now edges Gib. Gib is tough though as well. I'm not counting him out. I mean, credit to him. He really schooled Jarvis, and Jarvis is not bad. He's a tough kid as well. I wish there was a bit more action in that fight. Not that there wasn't action, it just wasn't. And look, I've watched and enjoyed Floyd Mayweather's genius in his boxing and appreciate it, where others will watch and say this is so boring. So it's not that, but that's not our brand. Again, our brand, I want to see a fucking knockout.
We all do.
I want to see some action. I want to see a brawl, essentially. Full credit to all those guys and a lot of respect. I think all the why do I keep talking about Kingpin? You secretly work for them, trying to get...
I secretly did.
No, listen, I enjoyed the 4 quarterfinal matches on the whole. I think the Gib Jarvis one was in the middle of it, became a little bit of a sleeper, but still props to all of them. KSI, big fish to fry. Let's stick on that trajectory. We have a lot of talent. We have titles that are not yet found a home. The middleweight title, will it be Salt Pappy cutting weight to get to that? Will it be Slim? King Kenny, he makes his return. Obviously, I might be being biased in saying King Kenny because I'm rooting for Kenny because he's a Misfits fighter on loan to Kingpin, as was Elle Brooke. And I've got to message her actually because I feel she'll be feeling it now, and she probably will be beating herself up knowing her for, even though she has nothing to be ashamed of. It's a great fight. Anyway, stop asking me about Kingpin.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I know I value your time very much, and I wanted to ask for all the fans eagerly waiting at home, I want you to let them know what can they expect from the future of Misfits.
The future of Misfits, they can expect a continuance of something for everyone. I've got pop stars. I hope I can make these things materialize, right? But I've got pop stars, I've got former wrestlers, I've got tennis player, I've got influencers that are massive and have great engagement, all flirting with the idea, all in contact with me. It's just making it happen, getting them to commit, getting them to realize, oh shit, this is what it feels like to get punched in the face. Do I really want to do this? Taking that next step and committing. I think we're going to carry on with this world of weird and wonderful magic and fun and entertainment, and also our pro division. I think it's something for everyone. If you don't like one of the fights on our card, I'd be very surprised, because you're either going to like it because you like pros, you're either going to like it because you love the spectacle of a tag team or a survivor tag match, or other sort of really fun ideas in play soon as well. So I think there is something for everyone, and I want to create this weird and wonderful world where you can tune in and have fun and stop worrying so much about, just actually watch and enjoy yourself. But everyone's just an armchair critic, and why didn't this happen? Why? Because we tried and we couldn't, so we went through another road. Just fucking chill and enjoy it, man. We're working hard to give you guys a great product over and over again. So it's reflective of a world that's kind of, there are a lot of happy people, there are a lot of miserable people. The miserable people don't have much going on, so they get on Twitter and start just shitting on everything you're doing all the time. And it's just fucking fucking enjoy your life, man. Like,
Yeah,
if you
yeah.
don't like something, don't watch.
At this time in the interview, at the end, at Off-Script, we usually like to give you the mic, and it's your time to sort of speak to the people about yourself and, you know, promote your own thing. I think it's only fair we give you the mic now.
Hi guys. No, you know what? I've got nothing to promote other than, you know, what you already know about. We've got Misfits and the Zone X Series 008, July 22nd, Nashville, Tennessee. My home.
Amazing.
I think it's going to be a spectacle, a lot of fun, something for everyone. Tune in and watch it and watch the storylines progress. Rankings coming after that, the week after, with the small council's input. It's going to determine a lot of flow of where the next direction of fights is going, where the next wave is going. The winner of Survivor Tag is going to be interesting. The opportunities that's bestowed on him. The mystery opponent, I think you guys will, guy's a legend. I think you're gonna enjoy seeing who that is. So that's it. Other than that, what else can I promote? Be fucking kind to animals and rescue, don't buy. Always adopt animals. That's a huge advocate of that. I've rescued
It's
many.
good to hear.
Yeah, and just fucking fuck off and start trying to be a decent person instead of getting on Twitter and being mean to people.
Yeah, stop giving this man hate. This is the man that gives you so much enjoyment and happiness. I just don't get it.
Don't mind. I think I come across like a villain, but you know what? I'll end with this. Once every 6 weeks, 2 months, I'll go into my DMs, then there's some mean ones, right? And I'll look at it and I'll be like, okay, let me reply to this guy. I'll be like, hey man, just curious why you think that, or what made you feel like you needed to say this to me. Either I won't get a response or I'll even get blocked in terms of, but that's embarrassment of like, I don't know what to say to him, you know? But the majority of the time it's gone really well. And the person, like the last person I spoke to, he's like, hey, sorry, I shouldn't have said that. It's a bit mean. I don't really know you. And I said, no, it's cool. I was genuinely curious. I struck up a 10-minute conversation, exchanging voice notes. I was like, hey, you're a really good guy. And I'm glad you don't hate me anymore. I think it's cool to do that because everyone at their core is human. And if you can connect with another person on some humanity, I don't care if you fucking have a Jake Paul poster on your ASI one, you know, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, that doesn't make you a shit person or that doesn't define who you are. Do I enjoy being a villain to some extent? I do. I think fun and I like the trolling. You know, I don't really have hatred for a single person on this planet, you know, except people who abuse animals and pedos. But
Yeah, well, I think that's the best one to hate on.
I don't like people who fuck other people's lives up for when they're innocent, and I don't like people who fuck up animals and beat them and stuff. And I know I'm rambling on about it, but I am really passionate about it. And I really, my horse, one of my horses, my dogs, they've been through so much, and before I rescued them, and obviously I think down the line I want to set up a serious charity that's going to help prevent that and lobby towards making stricter laws about abusing or neglecting your animals. But anyway, that's another story. Thank you.
Thank you for coming on. We've literally got 30 seconds left. I haven't got the pro version of this, but thank you so much for doing this. I really appreciate having you on.
Bro, it's my pleasure. I think you're great at what you do. Keep it up, and hopefully I'll see you in the UK, okay?
Thank you so much. Yeah, hopefully I'll see you in Manchester because that's where I'm from at uni.
Well, hopefully you will.
Thank you so much. I'll see you soon.